Back here for another conference tournament prediction video, this time for the Pac-12, aka the Conference of Champions. This is going to be a great tournament in Las Vegas, Nevada. A great 4 days of competition here. And we start out in the first round with ASU and Stanford. And these two teams played this last Saturday, and ASU won. I think the game was at Stanford. Point is, I think these two teams are pretty even, but I do think that ASU has the edge there, so give me ASU to beat Stanford in the 8-9 matchup. Next, we got the 5-12 Oregon and Oregon State Civil War here, and Oregon State, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they were the 5 seed in last year's Pac-12 tournament, went on a Cinderella run, won the Pac-12 title. They were a bid bandit. We have a video on that if you guys want to watch that. Oregon State is in that video, and they went to the Elite Eight last year and should have gone to the Final Four. They should have beat Houston. Game was tied with 3 minutes to play. But point being that this year they are trash. They are a 3-win team, and they probably don't even deserve to be in this tournament, to be honest with you. So I think Oregon wins by 40 points there and sweeps up the Beavers. Next game, we got Cal against Washington State. This is one of these Pac-12 tournament games that can go either way in the first round, but Washington State's been consistent all year. They're a tough, hard-nosed team, so I think they win against Cal there, advance to the next round. Next, we got Washington and Utah, and Utah is just straight up not a good team. Washington's a decent team. They've been middle of the pack in the Pac-12 all year. So I think Washington has the better star power, and I think they really should win this one against Utah there. Next, we get to the quarterfinal round here, and we got number 1 Arizona against number 8 Arizona State, and these two schools played a couple of games late January, early February. Arizona won on both occasions by 10 to 12 points. I think it's a similar result here, but watch out. When Arizona loses, they lose very ugly. When this team can't hit shots, it's actually pretty sad to watch. But when they can hit shots, they are one of the best teams in the country. So I think Arizona does enough to win here against Arizona State. But watch out for Arizona. I think they can be upset here. Next game, we got Colorado and Oregon. And there's really just no difference in my mind between these two teams. Very even. They have two pretty hard courts to play on. Colorado being in the altitude, Oregon tough student section, and also really odd court design. But actually, Oregon won on Colorado's court, which they hadn't done for a while, and then Colorado won on Oregon's court. But in this one, give me Oregon here. I think they take their momentum from sweeping the floor with OSU to now beating Colorado there. I think they have some tournament DNA. They got to the Sweet 16 last year, so I think they advanced there in a very even matchup. Next, we got UCLA and Washington State. Give me UCLA here to win this game against Wazoo. I think UCLA is probably one of the most consistent teams in the country. They got to the Final Four last year. Mick Cronin's done a great job trying to repeat the success in this Pac-12 tournament. I think UCLA wants to improve their seeding, so I think UCLA wins against Wazoo big. Next game, we got USC and Washington. Bit of a scary matchup for USC here in the first round. They did beat Washington in the regular season, but they've been prone to some close games with some of these poor Pac-12 teams. Fortunately for them, they have been able to win some of these close games, but if there's a big spread on this game, I'd definitely take Washington to cover the spread, but still give me USC to win that. They have been clutch at the end of these games. Next, we get to the semifinal round here, where we got Arizona and Oregon. These two teams played a doozy of a game. I think it was a 3-point game in Arizona. And Oregon's one of those bubble teams that they really have a lot to play for in their conference tournament. Arizona sitting at a 1 seed, you never know there. And as I mentioned before, Arizona, if they're not hitting shots, they can be prone to an upset. Oregon will play very hard every night. They'll give you that. Maybe they're not as consistent against the bad teams, but they can play up to their competition. But still give me Arizona to advance to the final. I think they will hit enough of their shots to win that one. Then we got the trilogy between UCLA and USC. USC had won 5 in a row until the finale of the Pac-12 regular season, where UCLA beat USC on their home court. I think UCLA is just a better team overall, and I think that USC just makes too many mistakes, whereas UCLA is a more consistent team. They have more consistent scorers. You got Hawkes, Juzang, Riley, all of these guys that they had on their team last year that can weather the storm when things get tough. Tiger Campbell. So I think that UCLA will advance to the final there. It will be a very tough game against a very familiar foe there. And now we get to the Pac-12 final between number 1 Arizona and number 2 UCLA. And I'm going with the Bruins to get the Pac-12 title here. These two teams played twice. They split during the regular season. UCLA won on their home court on a night where Arizona just could not hit any shots. Then at Arizona, the Wildcats hit a lot more of their shots and won. But on a neutral site here, I think UCLA does just enough to win and get the Pac-12 tournament championship there. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are on my bracket, what your guys' predictions are for the Pac-12 tournament. As always, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.